What's up, guys? Welcome back to the That's So Dev podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. We have some tea to get into today. Some special tea. I'm sure you can tell by the title. But anyway, before we get into this tea, make sure you go ahead and follow me at That's So Dev on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else, including Blue Sky. I'm trying to get my ass over there. And don't forget YouTube. We got it popping over there. Anywho, okay, y'all. Whew, I'm not even joking. I got my tea going. Lemon, ginger, honey. I usually don't put sugar in it if I'm putting honey because the honey will suffice. And, it's just, giving. So, okay, let's just jump in. Normani. The question is, what's next? Right? So, I personally have readjusted how involved I am with upkeeping with Normani as of right now. And, you know, amazing things are happening for her on the other end. I want that. I'm cool with that, right? So it's kind of like I've shut off the music. Like there are several different things. Like there's a big Stan Normani, lever, and then underneath that lever there's several different spots, several different, avenues that we got going on here. You know what I mean? We got the music, we got the general, we got the movies. Like we have several different ventures, right? So for the last couple of months, my mind has been movie Normani. Truly, in general support. That's always there. That's the baseline. That's never going anywhere. Till the wheels fall off. I'm so serious, right? But in regards to the music, I've just kind of been like, you know what? Let me go on and do my own thing, right? Because I talk about it all the time. Like, when we stand Fifth Harmony, because a lot of people who, and I think a nice big bunch of people who stand Fifth Harmony became Normani fans, and she gained more fans along the way. But a lot of us who stand Fifth Harmony, you know, we we were fed. We were fed so well. I mean, down to the point of having, essentially a reality TV show on YouTube, and having Fifth Harmony Fridays and having a yearly summer single. So like, you could always expect that there was going to be something or clue or whatever, even if it was just a cover. Fine, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I think that we got so spoiled. We were so spoiled. It didn't. We had it made, and I feel like that type of stuff, that level of it, that intensive energy, I just feel like that's a lot of expectations for somebody to have these days. I definitely think so. Um, so it's again us being used to kind of all of that, and then having some expectations going into her solo career that that energy would have been upkept. And honestly, even from the beginning, it wasn't. There no. I mean, Love Lies came out what? February, and then the first performance probably didn't come until what, May, just before the Billboard Music Awards. So, I mean, there wasn't some huge era or of consistently doing stuff, you know what I mean? But I think that after the Billboard Music Awards, on the back end of 2018, I mean, everything was just boom, 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 boom. Like a bitch couldn't breathe. I mean, we had the thing where Normani had the whole Was it Vivo? I don't know, but she performed the "So Into You" cover. We got that on YouTube, and we had her do the title performance, and we had the Calvin 2 pack EP. We had waves, like we were just fed, and then we had a tour coming the next year, and then we had the next single that she put out, and I mean, two back to back singles, and Normani has two consistent top 10 hits that are organic and have gained such massive audiences, especially on pop radio. Pop radio loves her. So it's just kind of like a testament to her range. I mean, even when she doesn't try, she has songs that have gone up urban radio and other things like that as well. I mean, I also talk about Checklist also reaching the UK charts over there with no video, just simply just the song coming out. So, I mean, I think that the numbers Normani get, I still think that there are so many artists who would hope to have that. That's what I think. But, there is there's this energy to where if you're not number one, it's not good. I think that's crazy. Because what do you mean? It takes me back to the stat that chart data, whatever you want to call it, had posted, and what, like 1.3 to 1.6% of all the songs last year got above 1 million streams. Like, wow. I mean, that's crazy. And 46% got less than 10 streams. Look how many artists are out there. So I think that 2018 through the 2019 run was crazy. She charted the whole time. From the second Love Lies popped up on the Billboard Hot 100 until the moment our songs decided to fall off, which both of them went almost the whole year. So, what was Dancing with a Stranger? Huh. It was the most played radio song in the world. That's a fact. Look it up. So there was just such this energy, right? And we all know why things had it took a pause a bit. Normani went through a lot with her mom getting breast cancer. I mean, she got it twice. I mean, it was such a hard time for her. And I'm glad that she took the time that she did. And I honestly feel like it it like made her more brave. That's what I noticed. You know, it honestly was like probably a moment for her where she kind of felt like she did have some control. I know that's crazy to say, but like she had the ability to kind of slow things down and pause. And Fifth Harmony, she couldn't. So, you know, I'm sure that was probably a moment. And I think about often now how all of them are kind of just not that they're not working. They are. They're working hard. But they kind of slowly take a pause on things. They have the ability to do that. If they don't want to be out in your face, they don't have to. They have that control, and I'm sure that is a freedom that they've now become accustomed to. What you get? Not after you knew what they've been through in Fifth Harmony. Oh, yep. If you know the T, Dylan LaPoe. Oh, come on. Yep. Yep. So it's just, I think that each time that Normani came back from an instance where she took a pause, she came back stronger. That is my opinion. I mean, she took that pause, came back, hit it with Wildside. I thought, this is gonna be the moment. I thought the album was for sure. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it felt like a moment where Normani had found her sound. And I think that everyone felt that. And I think that that's why so many people really enjoyed the song as well. Aside from the fact that it's just a bop, it's so good, it's timeless, right? And it's so well done. The sample is so tasteful. And I feel like there were so many levels to it that resonated with the culture. I mean, the dancing, the sample, the vibe, the energy, everything about it, the visuals, the styling of the video, the choreography in itself. When I say dancing, I mean the dance that took off on TikTok. But, and it wasn't just TikTok dances, it was dancing, dancing. So, just saying, hold on, I have to sip the tea. Mm. But let me tell you, I felt like that would be the time. And after Wild Side, I like maybe like a month. I was kind of like, maybe this is not going to be the time. Because I watched a lot of things kind of crumble in regards to her management. Just to be real. I mean, her song is coming out for streaming services randomly. Different ones. Not just one. I mean, here it is, consistently staying on the chart right here, and then it gets taken off, put back on, and then the streams have to regain, it has to get momentum, and then like it's just kind of gone at that point. It's been sabotaged. So I mean, I don't know how you explain that happening, but if you have a reason, let me know, bitch. Anyway. Look. I think that, again, from the beginning, Normani's management has been a big question mark. It has. The whole S10 situation, I wanted to hope to God that that situation was going to work out. I did. And over time, it became evident that it wouldn't. I just remember, like, specifically in my mind, seeing Brandon. I was at the Billboard Music Awards. I was backstage. And he walked right out of the door. And he was so red. People recognized him, but he was looking down at the ground and he was moving fast. So I don't know. Like, that's just the first thing that comes to my mind every time I think about him now. And then I think about seeing the video. And you know what video I'm talking about? Where he's just going off. And of course, you wouldn't like to think. Because in the beginning, right? It was like, oh, like, he's really going to bat for her. And I'm sure he did several times. But everything was all, cute and dandy. They seem to have a good relationship. And then I don't know what happened. Did he take on, like, bite more than he could chew? And then he just started taking it out on other artists and stuff and whatnot. So I don't know. Because in person, he looked red as hell, just like that fucking video when he was going off on that artist. So I don't. I'm curious as to what happened there because it seems like he's sabotaging his own self, therefore sabotaging the people who he manages. And, look, we always questioned a lot of things that they had done. Where were the performances? Why weren't we prioritizing Normani? Because the duration of her being with them, it always felt like we were waiting for something. Like, shit wasn't just happening. It felt like we were always waiting for something. Like, it's coming, it's coming, it's coming, and then it's not coming, and then it's not coming, and then it's not coming. And again, I think early on to a lot of people, it became clear that he's got to go. He's not making things happen in the way that we need them to happen for my sister. You know, time's going on, time's going on, time's going on. And, you know, she drops. That's my assumption, right? That's my assumption. To let it drop. I don't think. I think maybe they had a amicable parting of ways. That's what I'll say. That's my assumption. Because, right, the T is like they still follow each other, whatever. But like he wasn't making things happen, and things needed to happen. So Normani made it clear that management was a big reason why the album wasn't out. And I have a lot of questions about that. But again, as time went on, I think it also became clear to a lot of people that, hey, maybe Normani just doesn't want it out right now, too. Like, well, I mean, like, it became clear, if not that specifically, it became clear to people that, hey, maybe this isn't all, they're definitely a big issue. But you know what I mean? Maybe there's some part in this over here that, you know, this little space right here, my sister taking out. But it's just like, it's tea. Because, look, again, you know, they parted ways. And she connected with Lydia, who obviously, you know, the hot pink era was really in for Doja. And she really ate up on that era. She really helped Doja, you know, elevate. And I think that we all want that to happen too, right? Sipping my tea. Hold on. Mm. But the tea is chow. No, but I think that we all want it to happen for Normani. And I don't know what their plans are for her. Because again, the big question is what's next for Normani? We've already kind of recapped what we've been through and experienced with Normani. You know, we're to the point now where she has parted ways. She has this new management. So she has this new management. We're like, okay, you want to know what? Things are going to change now. But they didn't. And that's the part that had people like question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark. Because, wait, hold on. Why isn't shit moving? Because with previous management, I mean, Normani was not bound by the industry social scripts of when to release a song. They'd be like, new song in 3 days. In 3 days, mind you, it's going to be a Monday. Or another release, or it's going to be a Tuesday or a Wednesday. Like, they was just releasing on any day that they wanted to. And honestly, it was really refreshing, too. That was very refreshing. I'm not going to lie to you. But, I don't know. Obviously, that stopped happening for obvious reasons, especially because we get to Wild Side. And I don't think Wild Side is a song that you randomly say, hey, it's coming out. And then it's on like a Monday or Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like, they wanted to get the most out of that song. So that was the smart thing to do. But, you know, Waves, I think Waves was on a Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken, which is quite interesting. And I don't remember if Valentine's Day for Love Lies was on a Friday, but I don't think it was either. And I don't think the Calvin Harris pack came either on a Friday. I think it came out Monday. Whew. Uh-uh. It's just the way that this honey, when I'm sipping on it, is just giving my throat what it needs. Because a bitch talks. That I do. That I do, child. Mm. Oh my goodness. And that ginger, it's giving the kick that I need. Anywho, y'all, so here we are with the new management. And I don't know. Things haven't changed, right? So I think when Candy Paint was being teased, right? Because Candy Paint we've known about for years at this point. So so when Candy Paint was coming, it was gonna have a video for sure. I mean, that was confirmed, no doubt in our mind. Candy Paint will have a video, and it does. But I'm gonna get there, Vince. But okay. So here we are. Candy Paint's boom released. Okay, no video coming out with Candy Paint. I don't think that was addressed. They just said, "Oh, you know what, here you go." And I think we like, okay, expect the video to come out or whatever, and it didn't. Because did 159 come out before Candy Paint? I think it did. Because I'm pretty sure I remember her being on this little silver rocket and whatnot, and I think that came after she released 159. So for sure, though, it was just interesting because I obviously attended the Dopamine album drop party, and I was talking with one of my friends, and we were kind of like, girl, why does this party kind of feel like a goodbye? And that's genuinely what it felt like. It felt like a goodbye. And I thought it was just me. But when he said it, I was like, girl, yeah. T. But, obviously it's not that, right? But I don't know. It felt like to me also like a goodbye to the moments that we used to know. And it felt like a shift in how we are now fans of her. And I mean, I'm sure somebody sees that as a good thing. I'm sure somebody sees that as a bad thing. I don't know. But it's just kind of interesting to see how each individual person now stands Normani. Because there hasn't been anything for so long. I mean, the album dropped and then there was nothing. We got this big teaser, this big video teaser, but then nothing. I mean, look, I'm so gagged that they haven't bothered to put out any physical copies at all to buy. My my number one thing was like I want a vinyl and I want a physical CD. And I never got it. It's been almost a year since Dopamine has been out. And she teased the Candy Paint video almost a year ago. And we still don't have it. So, excuse me if I have a lot of question marks. Let's just be upfront. Why don't I have a Dopamine physical copy in my hand? Hello? I need these questions answered. Because if the label's not funding you to get some fucking physical. No. No. Like, if that label is not funding you to get some physical copies out or some vinyls, if like that's kind of the issue, because I mean, I don't know how that little specific thing works actually. I'm under the impression that the label funds that. So, I don't know. Like, what's the issue there? Like, are they being like, no, you cannot sell any right now? Like, what is happening with that? It's just so unusual. It's odd. This isn't normal behavior, especially for somebody's debut album. A debut album in which we were almost waiting for as much as her. So, I mean, the first inkling of her making a debut album popped up before she even left Fifth Harmony. They were really discussing it in 2017 around December-ish. So we didn't get the album until 2024. So 3 more years, that would have been a whole decade for real. And it like, look, I love that. I already did a review. If you want a review of the album, go listen to it for real. Like, it is truthfully honest, and I still feel the same way. That hasn't moved. Um, is the album, and again, I was talking to more friends about it. I wasn't sitting with this alone. I'm like, did this feel like an album that was worth waiting the amount of time that we have? And they were like, no, not really. I mean, that's the general consensus. So, and how do I feel personally? I mean, I feel like that was an album worth waiting 2 years for. I want to say three is a stretch, but I'd do it. But the amount of time that we waited, no. But I think that there's a lot of quality in a lot of the songs that make the wait worthwhile. Like when I listen to Tantrums, and I believe that's the best song on the album, truthfully, that puts me in another dimension. And hearing this album, it feels like a debut album for Normani. It feels, and obviously it is, right? But it feels like a first album for Normani. So for that, feel all right with the album. Like, I don't feel like anything should have been different. Could it have been? Sure. I'm looking on Twitter, and a lot of people, oh girl, a lot of people, and especially Nation, are talking about, certain songs that are out on the internet, saying this song should be, in place of this song, and blah 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 blah. But honestly, like I said, it feels like a first album for Normani, and I think that what she wanted to get across with it, it got across to me. And if you want to hear again my review, literally go listen to that episode because it's truthfully honest. And, you know, it is what it is at this point. The album's out, and to my surprise, charted on the Billboard 200. I said, oh, don't play with my bitch, right? She gonna pop up on a Billboard chart somewhere, okay? But, you know, I love that for her. I love that it popped up on that chart. I mean, Normani has the ability to, if she wants to, pop out and get herself a charting song. I mean, for the Hot 100 and on radio. If she locked in, she could right now, whenever she chooses to. That's the power within her that I think a lot of people don't realize. And it's true. No matter what you have to say about her, no matter how long it's been, she makes it clear that I can take a break, I can come back, and I still have that baseline right there. That's consistent. That's not a question mark. I'm sure of that. And there aren't a lot of people who you can be sure that their song is minimum gonna do what hers does every time. Fair in itself. No Video almost charted on the Billboard Hot 100. So just a couple slots away, baby. I mean, yes, for a person that a lot of people would like to make it seem as though, oh, she can't even get 100 streams or whatever. And they literally seem to be that dramatic every time that I see somebody on social media. That's how they make it seem, and it's just unrealistic. Look at the track record. I mean, she's very consistent. There are a lot of people in big names who pull X amount of streams. She will pull that same thing as a person who can disappear for a couple years, come back, random release a song, have no video, have no whole era. Like, I mean, there are a couple people who haven't even touched the 200 on the Billboard album chart. Girl, let's just be real. Time to sip the tea. Mm. And it's always going to be the ginger for me. Mm-hmm. Yep. 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 It's like a smile every time you take a sip. Bitch, put me in a commercial. Give me an ad. I'm that girl for it. Anywho. Okay. So, again, right? We're always going to come back to the question, what's next, Normani? Because dopamine is out, right? And again, no video, no nothing. We were teased with visuals for what? What did you tease us with visuals for? I have to know. Obviously, there's a video for 159. Where is it? Like, I mean, I've seen some things about them filming a video a couple months ago, right? So, are they trying to make, instead of dropping the video, are they trying to make a little video visual project over time with dopamine? That's been my biggest theory, because you only see them doing things periodically over time. And I'm wondering if also doing it spread out like that and not having it to rush out, is that going to be essentially cheaper for them? You know what I mean? So just doing videos here and there over time, so that way you can get out a project over the next year. I don't know, maybe on the anniversary of dopamine. I'm just, look, theories. Again, girl, I don't know. I hope that that's it. She's had a few performances, right? The Spotify thing. Oh my God. What's very clear, my bitch can sing live and the mic is on. She always danced her ass off, and those outfits ate. Yeah, I mean, like, the energy was everything. She sounded so good. Like, I mean, like, yeah, give me the mic feed, because my bitch chewed. And again, it's just a testament to, no matter how many times the internet makes it seem like Normani sings down, girl. I guess I'm kind of like, what's going on with the choreography? Okay, look. Okay, look. Before you snatch my shit up, okay? I don't know what happened between Normani and him. And you know who him is. I don't know what happened between them two, but obviously he's not doing her choreography anymore. And obviously there's a new creative director, choreographer going on, and I just I didn't feel comfortable watching the performances. That's just my feeling. I'm watching it and it's not connecting to me, right? It doesn't feel fluid. So I don't I hope that it maybe gets better, or we shift narratives. I don't know. I obviously have no say. But I don't know. And I'm not saying, oh, you need to go get this person back, you need to go get this person back, blah 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 blah. But I don't know. Is it wrong to say find someone who also connects with your audience, who understands your audience? Because I'm sure that no matter what Normani does, a lot of people are going to be like, gag, 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 gag. But there are a lot of us who are going to be like, gag, but hold on, wait. here's a little tea. You know what I mean? Like, she's not perfect, but I, I don't know. It's just like I want her to find somebody that she has natural chemistry with, and not natural chemistry in regards to not just the relationship, but in like the moment of choreography. Like Normani and Sean were kind of like one. They kind of understood all parts of it, which is why he was able to create for her and she was able to bring those to life. They just had a connection together. And I want her to find somebody where she has a connection on, I'm not saying replace him in that sense, but find somebody else who she also has a connection with, essentially. Like that connects to everything, to her personally, to her work wise, to her with the movement, the connection in that moment. I mean, I just, I gotta be real. I was not connecting to those moves. I mean, she was just on the chair and they was doing a bounce, bounce. Like, it was just, it was giving up and coming artists. And my sister's too polished for that, too sharp. And again, she's always going to make everything look a billion and one times better. Period. That's not a question. It's never a question, child. But I don't know. This just doesn't feel like it fits. And again, I hope it gets better. It could. I don't know. I don't know if this is a situation where they're gonna be locked in from here on out, or if she just found somebody for that job and in that moment. We're gonna see. I mean, what's next, Omani? What do I think should be next? Aside from that little dopamine film project that I mentioned, I think maybe she should put out a deluxe. I think that she should put out a deluxe along with that little dopamine film, right? And then I think she should move on. I think she should. I think realistically, if you want me to be honest, and I'm kind of like holding back that tea, but in my mind, I'm like, wrap it up. You know what I mean? Like, those videos are not out already. It's been almost a year. Like, damn, I feel like I don't even want it anymore. So, I mean, a bit's gonna be real. Like, that's just how I be feeling. So, I don't know. It's like, I'm here, for whenever the shit come out. I'm gonna stream it. We're not going to act like that. Obviously, duh. Like I said, to the wheels fall off. But it's just kind of like, ugh. Like, I don't have too much excitement for it. I'm sure I'm gonna gag in the moment, but like, you know, but it would be nice if, you know, boom, that came out on the anniversary, and then we moved on. Look, I don't know if you've seen, but there are rumors that she is gonna put out a new album, right? There have been articles out several places. I think two. I don't know why I said several, but I think two. And I don't know how credible these people be, just to be honest with you. But one of them, they have some tea. They have some tea down. Like, they don't be lying. Like, they got some for real shit. I would trust them on a regular basis. But when they said a new album for Normani, I was like, question mark? Because it seemed like we barely got this one. So what do you mean another one? Right? I gotta see it to believe it. I don't believe you. But you know, Um, who knows? I think that yes, she should move on. Let's not act like we don't want a mainstream success era from Normani. Like I said, she can come back, she can get that right now. Which is why I kind of like, you know what, let's move on, let's move on to the next album. And you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that would be the best course of action. And again, me mentioning the dopamine film and deluxe, I mean, it's very clear she has a large collection of songs. It's very clear. She already told how many songs she had a couple years ago. I can't imagine now, right? So it's just kind of like, okay, well, what do we do now? And I'm hoping that, again, they're ahead of the curve on it and are doing that dopamine film, because why else would you hold on to these videos? What other purpose? Like, you know what I mean? That can be the only thing. You're saving it for something. And what can that something be? You already have two videos under your belt. And it's clear that dopamine is going to be more than just one little thing. I mean, based on little promo clips you see with her on the TV screens and with the operating board, like, I mean, there's so much aesthetic going on here for the dopamine era and with these visuals that it seems like there will be more. And is this dopamine project going to contain some acting? Because here we are going into an acting debut for Normani, which is coming up, by the way. So it's quite interesting. I'm just saying there's a potential to for her to, put her acting into this performance or whatever, because Normani bet on herself for Wild Side and it worked the fuck out. She invested 1 million and it worked the fuck out for her. I felt like that was a moment where she had proved herself, but we know about black women, they have to do it over and over and over and over again. For whatever fucking reason. Just listen to them the first time. Hello. Just be anyway, girl. I'm just saying. I feel like we're at a point now where I think that people, because it's been so much time with Normani, that people feel like they know her, like as an artist. And I feel like Dopamine only really gave you a taste. Like Normani, like I felt like she held so much back from that album. Just to be honest, I felt like she held back from that album, but I also felt like she really did pour absolutely everything into it at the same time. I think both of those can exist at the same time, you know? So, again, if you want to hear my review, go stream that episode. Ciao. I also did a reaction on YouTube. It's a very unserious one, but I did it. I was just like, you want to know what? I'm gonna turn the camera on, I'm gonna press play, and I'm gonna do as little editing as possible. And that's exactly what I did. We came and we conquered and we moved on. Because that's just how the era felt to me. That's just how I wanted to do it. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up. We don't have too much to say at this point. I feel like we've said everything that we need to say. I mean, we also have some predictions. We also have some hopes as well. So there's, we've come full circle, and I do appreciate you guys for tuning in to this podcast. I mean, I we all want more of Normani, and we're just waiting for something to happen, and we've been waiting for something to happen since, again, a lot of us 2017. So I think that a lot of us have decided to really put this on the back burner with the music and just kind of put our focus elsewhere, genuinely. Because realistically, before there was a Fifth Harmony, before there was a Normani, I stand a lot of people. I mean, genuinely. I mean, in real life, you know. Again, I remember going in the store in Walmart specifically, waiting a little after midnight when they would stock the CDs and go buy albums. I would go buy the Hannah Montana soundtrack. The Lizzie McGuire soundtrack is my first album ever, not the movie one, the TV one with I Can't Wait. And if you remember, girl, you are that bitch. But the TV soundtrack of Lizzie McGuire, which she has on this blue outfit, has on a yellow background with Lizzie McGuire and I think it was pink, I believe. But yeah, it was like I can't wait for the dun dun, and I'll be shining like a down down down. Wait, hey, I can't wait. Bum bum bum. Like, look it up on YouTube. It's a fucking bop. Anywho, so that was my first album, and I remember again going in the stores and buying these things and bringing them home and unwrapping them and putting them in my CD player or putting them in the what were they even called? I mean, like we had this big music player and yeah, I put the CD in and was connected to these big speakers. Isn't that crazy? I don't even know what to call that shit anymore. But yeah, because everything's just so digital now. I mean, I was around during floppy disk. A bitch is old. Wow. Moving on, but buying those albums in the stores and the thrill of all of that, like I wanted to recreate that feeling with dopamine and getting the physical album, and like I wanted that moment with Normani, but I did not get that moment with Normani because, like I said, there were several people before that. I mean, I went and bought Nicki Minaj albums. I went and bought Jonas Brothers albums. Like I said, Miley Cyrus, Hannah Montana soundtracks. I mean, everything that you could possibly think of. I was going in and buying these albums. I mean, Demi Lovato, Justin Bieber. I bought literally all of their albums. So again, like when I overwhelmingly connect to an artist like that, there are very few artists now that I will still buy their albums. I'm only buying Nicki Minaj's album. I'm only buying Beyonce's album. I'm only buying Miley Cyrus's album. Just to be real, there's nobody's album that I'm rushing to go buy. I'm going to go stream it. Sure, fine. But I would have bought Normani's album and I would have bought a vinyl. But that was not an option. So it was just kind of also like it was a weird moment. It was very weird. Like I don't know how to explain it. But I was like, well damn, that was very disappointing. Like and she talked about selling the dopamine bangs and all that stuff, and like I think we just expected so much. Girl, we got the bare minimum. We really did. But I do appreciate the dopamine party. It was so amazing. I'm so glad she did that for her fans and everything. And wow, I just yeah, I was so grateful, you know, in that moment and for the party and being there with her and seeing the joy in her face, how excited she was and how in the moment she was and how much she loved this music and how we just kind of all had that moment together before the album drop. I felt like it created a different connection between her fans. Genuinely. A lot of us really got to connect in real time, in real life, and it really humanizes a lot of people, that you see as different profiles on social media. But a lot of them girls are my girlies. Just saying. Anyway, you know, uh, but again, did I just say I was wrapping this shit up? But here I go. You see why I gotta wrap it up because a bitch will just be talking. I mean, it is what it is. I got nothing left in me for real. It's just the overwhelming passion of standing an artist who makes music that you connect to, and I love that. I love that there are just people all across the globe who have this connection, and whether they know each other or not, and then when they do meet each other or come across each other, they also share that connection and also share that love. I mean, I experienced that first during Fifth Harmony. And honestly, it has been something that has just stayed with me for the longest time. and it probably forever will. So I can't wait to experience that during a tour whenever that happens to come. But anyway, I'm hopping off here, y'all. I appreciate you. Thank you so much for streaming the That So Dev podcast, where you stay true and you stay you, bro. Make sure you follow me on all social media platforms at That So Dev on Twitter, Instagram, and literally everywhere else, including Blue Sky and YouTube. I appreciate you. Drink some water, take care of yourself, and I will see you on the next podcast. Peace.